Why are we here? All right. Yes, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and beloved guests. So glad that you are here today to join me on this journey. We often ask why we're here and we ponder the response to this, and it means something different for everybody. Today, we're going to talk about the what very soon. This speech that I'm giving today is a canned speech from Toastmasters. It is part of the Successful Club series. There is an entire manual that has a number of speeches in it that talk about the building blocks of a successful club. The Evaluate to Motivate that Tatiana gave last week, this one here, which is the educational program. The educational program and everything I tell you today is going to change. But the program that you're following now, you will be able to continue to follow. We don't know when or what the new education program is going to look like, but in the meantime, I'm going to tell you the one that we have today, and all of this information will be valid for you. You'll be able to continue to use it throughout your journey, your Toastmaster journey. This will be really fun without a PowerPoint. I guess I won't have to use the canned PowerPoint. Anybody want to help me figure out what's going on there? It is a locked program, so it's a little bit challenging to work with. I'm going to start with this one single piece of paper. I'll put some papers in front of you. There's one in there, and it's titled The First 10 Toastmaster Speeches Assignments to Help You. Okay, you got it? Perfect. That's good. Thank you so much, Jack. So looking at this one, this is really the core of the Competent Communicator Manual. So there's two different tracks. There's the Competent Communicator track and the Competent Leader track. And following both of those is how you improve your communication skills and improve your leadership skills. So this list here is a summary of the first 10 projects. And it's what you do when you walk in. Well, the first time you walk in the door, you're a deer in the headlights, and somebody hands you a manual and says, you're going to do an icebreaker speech in 2 weeks, so read this and put together a speech. And you often don't have a sense of what the entire program is. And so what I hope today is to have everybody participate in this, and that the new people will learn that they're not alone, and that the advanced people will understand what they can, and everybody will understand what they can get and what they can give in this Toastmasters program. So I'm going to start by asking a question, and this is not to put anybody on the spot, but just, there's no right answers. It's just to kind of get your impressions. And I'm going to start with our newest members. So we have Tony and Viviana. Give me one word that comes to mind when you think about when you think about preparing for your next speech or giving your next speech. What's one word? Tony.
Authentic.
And Viviana.
Nerve-wracking.
Okay. I'm going to move on to those that have given a few speeches, 4 speeches. Hussein. One word, same thing. One word that you think of when you're going to give your next speech.
Exciting.
Anxiety. Yeet. Enthusiastic. And who else do we have? I think, and Chris.
Stress.
All right, so now we're going to talk to our competent communicators, those that have just finished their competent communicator. Mustafa.
Heart attack.
And John, you're moving up on yours, so we can ask you. I want to leave you out.
Breathe.
Okay. Now to our advanced communicators. Carrie. I missed Michael, but I'm going to. So Carrie, go ahead. One word that you think of when you're thinking of your next speech.
Excited.
Okay, and Michael, because I missed you, I want to include you as well.
The subject.
The subject, you're thinking about the subject? Okay, and Marjorie?
Audience.
The audience. Tatiana?
Practice.
Arnie?
Excited.
Do you see a theme here? Fred? Oh, and I forgot Pat.
Fun.
Yeah, and entertaining, so.
Excellent. Is that 10 minutes?
5.
I want
10.
10. 10 for me.
Oh,
And then
Embarrassing.
quickly Pat
Creative.
and Jack
Interesting.
and Kyle.
And to edify.
That's a sneaky one.
And this worked out exactly how I had anticipated. You walk into this room and you're absolutely terrified, but as you start to do these projects and you learn more and more, you have a lot more confidence. And you are excited about your speeches, so thank you so much for participating in that. So these are the basic skills you will learn. Take a look at all of these if you don't have them. And we will move on to one of the things you get once you get your competent communicator is you get recognition, you get a CC, you get a ribbon, and a name tag often. And what happens after? What do we do? What keeps us coming back? So let's go to the Toastmasters Advanced Program. That's that stapled 2 sheets of paper that I provided you. I'm going to be working through this as I work through the rest of the CC manual. But I wanted to let you all know that we have all the advanced manuals. There's 15 advanced manuals. We have a copy of all of them here. So once you finish your CC, take a look at these, or even before when you start thinking about what you want to do. There's 5 speeches per manual, and typically you'll do 2 manuals for the next level or the next goal that you go to. And they offer practical experience. So here's one, interpersonal communication, speeches by management. I think I have a whole list here that we'll look at. And here they all are. So here are the 15 different manuals. And it's interesting because when I finished my CC, I started to look at these, and I saw one that said technical presentations. I do a fair number, oops, that's not the one. Did I manage to kill my slideshow? Great. I do a lot of technical presentations, and the technical manual helps you to understand how to put technical in. I think I need your help again, Jack. How to put together technical information and deliver it clearly and efficiently. And why do others of you pick these manuals? So, Arnie, for example, I know you've done the interpersonal communication. Why did you choose this, and what has it done for you?
Well, because interpersonal communication is one of the things that I'm very interested in and study and teach, and it helped me put things together a little bit.
Excellent, thank you. And speeches by management. I think, Jack, you did this one recently. Why is it that you picked this one, and what have you gotten from it?
I do a lot of speaking within my organization, and the types of speeches that were there, the types of speeches that I do. I'd worked through other advanced manuals. I hadn't really looked closely at this one, but when I did, I realized that there were things that I could use there, even though I thought that I knew how to do those kinds of things. And so for me, it was a discovery of an opportunity.
That's fantastic. Does anybody else want to share? You did communicating on video, Carrie. How was that one?
Right, well, I did learn a lot of things, and I went into it thinking, like, I know this stuff, and so I just kind of wanted to maybe brush up, and I found that I really did learn a lot more than I thought that I would, and it was really exciting.
Excellent. So once you start with these, I picked up a couple of books. I picked up storytelling, and I picked up technical communications, because you always have to be able to tell a good story. Every time we talk, we're telling a story. And putting that together with technical information seemed like it was a good way to move forward. Once I'd done those 2 books, then you start looking at the other goals in Toastmasters. Let's see, I achieved my CC, and then you have to complete 2 Advanced Communication Series manual. Well, here's one right here. And I get an opportunity to talk to everybody about the education program, and I get credit for it, as well as the club gets credit if I achieve this goal. After the bronze is the silver. You do another 2 advanced manuals, and you do 2 presentations from the Better Series and Successful Club Series, and you can find those all online. And then gold, guess what? 2 more advanced manuals. you have a chance to get through at least 6 of these manuals. And then 2 more educational leadership speeches, and then coaching a new member with their first 3 speech projects. Very important part of the program. It gives you a lot, as well as the mentors that are starting. And then we have the Competent Leader Manual. How many of you brought your Competent Leader Manual today? So we need to be really better about bringing our manuals, because this is an important piece. You do the roles anyway, your timer, your grammarian, you're doing them. So if you bring your book, then you get a chance to get credit for these skills that you're already developing. In the back of the book is a list of these projects, or maybe it's in the front here. But this, you put together all of these different tasks that you do as functionaries, and each project is focusing on an aspect of leadership. Better listening, better, different pieces that you need to be able to organize, to be able to provide information to other people, and especially listening, and that helps you to become a better leader. And there are also 10 leadership projects in here, and they follow a very similar track. The achieving the CL, or the Competent Leadership Award. So this is the CL, this is beyond the CL. So going beyond the CL, if you go back to my handout here, the first several went through the communicator, and the next several go through the leadership. So these are the advanced leaderships. Beyond this basic CL manual, you have a couple of different goals that you can work towards that are parallel to the communication track. It's bronze, silver, and then gold. And so these are the various things that you would do. 6 months as a club officer. So you sign up to be a club officer, you help the club move forward, and kind of the organization. Sometimes it's the money, sometimes it's taking the notes, or getting membership organized, all these different pieces of it. You help that, but you also take credit, and the club gets credit as you go through these. And the club success plan talks about how we're going to do it. There's an awful lot of support from Toastmasters, and that this club success plan, which looks like this, it talks about all of the different things that put the club, that make the club functional, how we're going to recruit members, how we're going to do business, all of those different things. And then participating in club officer training is an important one. And again, 2 more presentations from our favorite 2 manuals, the Successful Club series and the Leadership Excellence series. So you end up going through a lot of these canned speeches by the time you're done with these. And then the silver, advanced silver, leader silver is parallel to the communications track. You have the ALB award, so each time you have to reach the previous award, and then serving as a district officer, which Jack and Tatiana are doing. They're both working on this ALS, and club sponsor and mentor. So the whole program, the whole leadership program, is about learning to do leadership skills and giving back to those that are working on this as well. And here we are at the silver level. This is the high performance leadership project that Jack talked about, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And he's working on his project to achieve this advanced leader silver. And then the Distinguished Toastmaster. How many Distinguished Toastmasters do we have in the room here? We have 3 in the room, we have 5 in our club, which is really astounding. And I think it's one of the things that makes this club such an excellent club. Yeah, it's really astounding. So they had to go through their advanced communicator gold, the advanced leader silver, and once both of those were completed, they were a distinguished Toastmaster. Fred, how long did it take you to achieve your DTM?
6.5 years.
Ernie
I think about 8 years.
and Carl.
That was 11 years.
So Toastmasters has a lot to offer for a long time. You get a lot, you give a lot. And so it's important for you to think about what your goals are. They don't have to be overall long-term goals, and often I don't think people go in saying, I want to be a DTM. It's not until you work through each of those steps and, oh, I get credit for this. and you work through another few steps. Oh, I get credit for that, and so does the club. And a lot of what we do as officers is we try to make sure the club gets the credit that it needs to get. So, in conclusion, thank you so much for listening to the Toastmasters educational program. It will be changing in the future, but this is the structure of it, and the goals and the feeling and the mentoring that we do will not change. Thank you very much.
Now we drive a Subaru. What am I gonna? Well, Monique's speech was, first of all, extremely edifying. How did we all know these things about Toastmasters without this speech? I mean, we'd be lost, wouldn't we? Lost forever. Thank you very much. It was very informative. How effective was the speaker's introduction in helping the audience to understand the purpose of the speech? She started out extremely effective. She was very excited. Why are we here? Why are we in Toastmasters? Okay, you know, she engaged the audience immediately, which I thought was very effective. And she kept her energy throughout, which is hard to do when you are giving a canned speech, by the way. And you're right, Kyle, she kept it interesting even though it was canned. Was the presenter adequately prepared? Obviously, perfectly prepared. How couldn't she be? I mean, you took it right out of the manual. But she was very prepared. She was prepared to keep us engaged. I thought one of the really interesting techniques, of course, was to engage the audience. And a little deeper than that, she started with the new people first, which I thought was a kind of a tricky little thing to do. And it worked very well, because if you start with the DTMs, then other people will just like follow those words, right? Just say what they say. But very, very good technique to start out with people with less experience, and to keep the audience engaged, which I think is really like one of the best ways to handle a speech that is canned, as we use that word. What other techniques did you use? The PowerPoint, obviously, and handouts. So I'm going to take my handouts with me because I'm going to be able to refer to those. One thing I would suggest is that it was a canned speech, and Monique knows the subject very well, but there was a lot of information. So how are we really going to retain that? And the simplest way to throw in would be the Toastmasters International website. All the information that Monique gave you today is on that website. Any question you have about it, we experience the same thing at our club. At contests, people want to know, well, where do I get forms? Well, the international website, where else? So everything that you said today is on the website, but it's very nice to have somebody presented who knows what they're talking about and do it in such an enjoyable way. And I think with that, any other little tiny things? There was just a little trouble with the PowerPoint. Did you test it before class? No, but that's okay. So that would be maybe one thing you might want to do. But Jack came to the rescue, no harm done, and it was a very enjoyable speech. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster.